I'm Lucky Paul, and welcome to Lucky Paul Time, episode number 1. This is what I would call a spontaneously created, interactive, musical discovery travel show. So, essentially, I'm in this van. This is a van right here, a Chevy Astro van that I've converted to have everything I need to live and survive. Like, I've got a fridge right here, I've got a bed, I have a kitchen and a solar panel to get power, and I also have music gear. So I live in LA, but I've been traveling around the States on and off for the last 2 years. And in that time, I've been working on this instrument that allows me to make music out of my surroundings in real time. So I can grab sounds from any source, whether it's something that I play or something that someone else plays or something that just happens. And it's a whole bunch of fun. I just kind of go out and improvise, and it's really fun. And now I'm on my last journey home back to LA. So I'm in New York, and I'm going to drive down south over the next 2.5 months and eventually end up back in LA. And I want to really document more of the journey right here. So this is how I'm going to do it. And it's going to be, let me just close this because it turns some of the traffic noise down. So each episode, I'm going to be going to different places in each city that I visit, sort of musically relevant places or things that just I feel inspired by, and I'll be collecting sounds from different things and learning more about the music from each place and sharing the sounds with you, so you can download them on my website and remix them and sing over whatever I do, all the separate samples or the loops, or just download the tracks. And on top of that, each episode I'm going to be creating this lesson which will go on to Melodics, which is an application. It's like a game for learning music. It kind of turns that whole thing of learning how to play music into a Guitar Hero style game where there's these notes that come streaming down and you've got to hit it in time and you get a score, and it's cool. It tracks your progress, and there's all sorts of different lessons on there, and you don't need an instrument. You can just use your computer keyboard. You learn kind of rhythm and you learn coordination from it all, but if you have MIDI pads, you can do that, so it kind of it'll improve your finger drumming, or you can learn keys on it or electronic drums. So it's a really interesting app, and it's going to be cool. I'm going to go around and collect these sounds and play these rhythms, and you can learn these rhythms at the end of the video. You just click on the link and go to Melodics and download it for free, and yeah, you can learn the stuff. So that'll be fun. And yeah, like I said, I'm currently in New York. I'm on 6th Street in Manhattan, and the reason I came here is because I want to start this whole thing in the spirit of John Cage, and he's one of my favorite artists. He's from LA originally, but he spent a lot of time in New York developing his ideas, and I'm just going to show you the first segment of probably his most famous piece, 433.
And now, a performance of John Cage's 433. Please welcome our soloist, William Marks.
So as you can see, there were no notes being played by the performer. The rest of the piece is that. It's 4 minutes and 33 seconds of no notes being played. All the music comes from the audience, or just it comes from the sounds in the room. So if someone coughs, or if someone shuffles, or whatever sound happens, that's the piece. So it's different every time. And I love that concept of all sound being music. I find it's just really fun to just sit back and listen to sound as though it's composed music. And sometimes when you're really focused and you do that, it makes musical sense. It's hard to explain, but I do that a lot, and I get a lot of inspiration from it. Here's John Cage talking a little bit about that.
When I hear what we call music, it seems to me that someone is talking, and talking about his feelings or about his ideas of relationships. But when I hear traffic, the sound of traffic here on 6th Avenue, for instance, I don't have the feeling that anyone is talking. I have the feeling that sound is acting. And I love the activity of sound. What it does is it gets louder and quieter, and it gets higher and lower, and it gets longer and shorter. It does all those things which I'm completely satisfied with that. I don't need sound to talk to me. The sound experience, which I prefer to all others, is the experience of silence. And the silence almost everywhere in the world now is traffic. If you listen to Beethoven or to Mozart, you see that they're always the same. But if you listen to traffic, you see it's always different.
So yeah, he was talking about the traffic on 6th Avenue. So I'm going to go outside and collect some sounds in the spirit of him, and then I'm going to play back those sounds on some sample pads, and that'll be the first segment of the first lesson. And then we're going to go somewhere else and cover another aspect of New York music. So here we are in Manhattan. It's a beautiful day. Even though it's winter, things just came right today. It's been pretty rainy the last few days. But yeah, this is my rig, in case you're curious. This is the sort of ultra portable version of it, where I can just walk around with this strapped to me, and I've got a couple of different mics to sample from, and I got the iPad that just lets me control all the loops and add effects or whatnot. And then I strap my computer to the back of my backpack, and it runs with the lid closed and the fans running strong so it doesn't overheat. But that's that. So now I'm going to go outside and grab some city sounds. Thank you, John Cage. Alright, so that just happened. I just made some sounds from the street and made a little rhythm, something to start with. And now I'm heading to the Bronx. Cedar Park, which is basically the birthplace of hip-hop. At least just down the road, 1520 Sedgwick Avenue, I believe it was. That was like the first hip-hop party ever. And then once it got kind of too big, then they moved it into the park, and then the park just became this kind of, as I heard about it, a club without walls, essentially. So, yeah, we're going to go there and make some kick drum sounds and some snare drum sounds out of whatever's there and loop them into some sort of pattern. You can learn on this Melodics app if you so wish. And then I'm going to grab a whole bunch of other samples and try and make some beats from all of that. Okay, let's go.
This is really the birthplace of hip-hop. The first parties, before it was even called hip-hop, took place here. There, DJ Kool Herc was pretty much the founding father of hip-hop music.
I'm the founding father. I'm the inventor. Nobody else stand on that platform with me.
I was a former history teacher, so I think if you're really into any particular art form, culture, you have to know your predecessors. You have to know the pioneers who went before you. This place just has so much history. So we came here with the young people to show them that all the other MCs that they like would not really, they wouldn't be around without this gentleman right here in this park.
I learned about history that like music is really within us all. It's something that's been a part of our culture. It's allowed us to expand. It's allowed us to learn more about other people's stories, other people's lives.
Yeah. And what role did the park play in those early days?
The park played as, it was a club without walls. That's really what it was. It was a club without walls. And you had to maintain what was in the club. But again, we wasn't there to control the people. It was hard at times, but we never had no bad times. But when you came, all we said was enjoy yourself and let the music talk to you and leave all that other stuff alone.
So that was Cedar Park, and I just had a good time walking around, finding sounds, finding rhythms, and yeah, there will be some of that on the melodics lesson for sure. So yeah, that was great. The next stop was going to be the Loft, or at least it was the Loft at a certain point, and the Loft, which is this thing, has changed locations a few times, but I've been watching some documentaries on it, and it sounded like a really interesting place, and it was very relevant to the birth of club culture and dance music, and the whole thing of making people feel free through music and dancing and special history. So it's getting dark now. It's probably going to be too dark to really get sounds and stuff, but I'm going to play some clips about it, and then after that go to my final destination of this video.
647 Broadway, I'll never forget it. David Mancuso's Loft. We go in this little hallway, open the door, and I move on to this dance floor. And as the record is playing, it comes to a peak, and these bright lights go on, and then everything goes off, and all I hear is this sound, this perfect sound. I knew in my soul, in my heart, in all my body, that music was moving me to my core, and I knew it was gonna move a lot of people. And that was, for me, the beginning of dance music.
The origins of this globe-spanning, multi-billion-dollar high-tech entertainment business can be traced back to one room in a downtown block in New York City. It was in the home of DJ David Mancuso. In 1970, he started to put on all-night parties. He'd blow up some balloons, lay on a buffet, and play great music in a place called the Loft.
David Mancuso.
Somehow or another, you get to points where it all kind of works out, where the next song that plays really starts presenting itself to the point where the music's really playing you. You start off kind of organized, and you start at this first bardo. But the whole idea is to let go, and hopefully the experience where you will shed your ego, where you can really just kind of go, let it take you. And that does happen. It could last a minute, it could last 5 hours. But it's like music's like our friend. If we listen, it will show us and tell us the way.
So I made it to the original Loft. Location, I'm going to sample that. I just sampled that train, so I'm going to do something with that sample. But it's not a Loft anymore, it's a supermarket. But the supermarket has two really amazing murals along the side of it, so I just filmed that. And well along the topic of the titles of the murals are well along the topic of, I believe, what the Loft was about. And here comes another train. So that was the brief moment with the Loft location. And now I'm going somewhere else. And now we're at the last place. This is kind of like the dessert because there's no wind noise here, and I'm not making weird-ass sounds with found sound percussion things, which I love, but I know sometimes you just want traditional sounds like, maybe something like this. So I'm at Figure 8 Studios in Prospect Heights, which is in Brooklyn. It's a beautiful studio. I've been doing a bunch of recording drums here and percussion over the last week, and also been staying upstairs. So it's been super nice to be here and see all the stuff that's going on and get involved. But yeah, now I just want to sample this 808 here, which is a really important machine for New York, early hip-hop, electro, but also all electronic music. We've all heard the drum sounds from this. So I'm going to sample them all, and then I'm going to make some stuff over that train sample that I grabbed from the Loft and just make something new, and then maybe there'll be some time to sample some of the the crazy synthesizers they have here. And that will be that. Thanks and enjoy. And yeah, like I said, all the sounds I make will be available to download. And you should do the melodics thing because it's fun. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Okay, so I'm just going to use this kick drum with the train sample that I have from before. That's the train sample, and I'm just going to pick where the beat is, and then sample it, and just like that. And one other thing I wanted to do was just get a clave sound from this, because Salsa is from New York also. Alright, so that was the 808, and now I'm going to have a play with some other things around here. I'll just see what's around and, yeah, have a play. I see an Oberheim right there on top of the piano, so maybe I'll plug that in.